Hello, everybody. Welcome to Office Agenda 247. Today, in the Target series, we will be discussing the PPB subject. PPB, as you know, the most bulky one when it comes to JAIIB. And when I talk about the specific unit we will covering today, it will be unit number 25th, pertaining to the collaterals. And if you are a banker, since we know that there are various verticals in bank, if you are from the deposits, this particular lecture will serve you good because you will be learning some basics in the loan category. And if you already are working in the advances section, this will add up to your knowledge. So it's a win-win situation for both the categories. So when we talk about the security, why we are talking about security, that must be a question in your mind. Directly, when I say that a loan appraisal process has been done, that is in the unit number 23, what we have read, as soon as a loan proposal arrives at your desk, you will be assessing, you will be evaluating the particular proposal via various documents. And one such important document, or you can say one important entity, will be the security. For the secured loans, you have to recover ultimately the credit which you have disbursed. So what do we mean by security? The bank finance, it is used by the borrowers for creation of some type of asset, either for the business or for the personal use. Whenever we are discussing loan amount, it might pertain to businesses or, for that matter, personal use of an individual. But what do we mean by security? It is just an asset. Fine. The asset created out of the bank finance as per the normal banking practice is invariably taken as the security. And the asset which is held by the customer, it will be termed as the security. You are creating an asset for a business. You might take a business loan. You are having a particular asset for your personal use, that will be a security for the bank. In case the loan which is being disbursed to you, it fails, you are unable to repay the loan, directly bank can avail the benefit of this security and sell it out and recover the amount. Simply stated, this is the meaning of security. Now, when we talk about the theory, besides often banks call for any other asset owned by the borrower or the third party as a collateral security as well. So, what do we mean by collateral? Basically, you might have heard about this term, collateral damage, right? That a particular damage has been created, reason being that you are unable to fulfill the minutes of a contract, and because of that, what is happening, a particular security is at stake, and this security will act as a recovery for the bank. Okay. Next, when I talk about the effectiveness of securities, there are various parameters via which we can judge how effective a security is, whatever collateral you have provided to the banks. So the borrower should have good title to the security, mainly when we talk about the land or building, or for that matter machinery as well, plant and machinery. In case of business loans, we talk about the title, that a particular patch of land must belong to the primary holder of the account, primary applicant of a particular loan account. It should be identifiable. You cannot just say that yes, a particular patch of land is there and I do not have the said documents with me, but it belongs to my name. This cannot be entertained by the bank. So document, you must have foolproof documents with you so that banks can also identify that particular security. Security should be easy and freely transferable. Now, when we talk about the major aim why banks want the security, they want the security just to recover their amount. Fine. If they are unable to transfer the property in their name after the recovery process has been initiated, how do you think banks will be recovering this amount? So it must be easily transferable. It should not have any encumbrance or liability attached. Example, partly paid. Talk about a patch of land. Let's just stick to that example only. You can have the example of shares also, but since we are talking about land only, so let's stick to that. When I talk about a particular patch of land, if already a loan has been disbursed via this land has already been used as a collateral security for XYZ loan, it cannot be attached to another loan in most of the cases. The ownership of the asset should be absolute. It must be established via certain authority also. The particular tehsil office must acknowledge that yes, this patch of land belongs to this XYZ person. The security should be easily marketable. You should be able to sell it. It must make sense when we talk about the selling. Fine. Whenever we are trying to sell that particular land, it must make sense. The deal must make sense, and it must be a profitable business for the bank also. Assets without wide price fluctuations are preferable. The constant price is preferred here, no speculation. That is, banks do not entertain any kind of risk. Why do you think so? This is a mechanism added because see, whenever you are disbursing credit, being a credit officer, you have disbursed XYZ loan. Fine. This credit already bear the risk whether this amount, whatever you have disbursed via credit, it will come back to the banking system or not. Additionally, if you are taking a security, a collateral, which is more riskier, then you are just adding the risk involved in that particular loan. The market value should be easily ascertainable. So you should be able to evaluate that what is the actual value of that land. So the valuation report in case of housing loan, it will act as one of the benchmark for the bankers. Plus you can consult some alternate architect also who will prepare the valuation report for you, and you should be certain that yes, this particular patch of land has a marketable value like this. It should be possible to store the security in secured manner in case of pledge particularly. So when we talk about the storage of security, whenever the documents are at stake, it must be in a storable form. Fine. Storage must be there with the bank also, and the form be in a manner of, you can say, paper only. Fine. Paper only, no photocopy, nothing. The original will be considered. Many a times you might have seen that the title deed of a particular land or patch of land is not entertained by the banks if it is laminated. Fine. Because it is hard to evaluate, hard to know what type of paper it is, whether it is the original one or just a photocopy. The security should be durable for a reasonable period of time. So when we talk about the expiry of certain pledges, or for that matter certain documents, that should be a certain and must be in line with the tenure of the loan. Okay, so I hope that the effectiveness of securities, you are able to know that what all points are there and how as a banker you will be evaluating the same. Now, when I talk about the types of securities, these are four. First of all, immovable assets, all those assets which you cannot move. Then we have movable assets, actionable claim, or the financial assets, the specifically shares, fine, the shares which you are keeping as a security. Lastly, we have intangible assets, those assets which we cannot directly touch or feel. These are just the basic English meaning. Let's see one by one what exactly it pertains to. So, in case of land and building, when we talk about the most common security which we normally take in the branches as collateral, this type of security is not of self liquidating nature. That is, since it is held for long term in the same form, it does not get converted into cash during the economic cycle. So when we talk about land and building, how you will be defining it? Obviously, it is an immovable asset, but the conversion into cash, whether it is possible or not in a shorter duration, answer is no, because they are held for a long term. There are various techniques of evaluating whether a particular security is beneficial for the bank or not. And for short term loan, long term loan, when we talk about liquidation, all these things evaluated. And specifically in land and building, it is taken care that the particular patch of land is having all these effectiveness into consideration. In the event of bank decides to sell the property for recovering its advance, it needs to do so through the legal process. Fine. Do remember that bank is not the owner of that particular land. So the bankers have to go through the legal route only. And that is the only mechanism available to the bank. What are the advantages of keeping land and building as the security? So the advantage is that its value generally increases with time. Generally, that's a keyword I would say, because sometimes we have seen that some patch of land, their value has decreased over a period of time. But yes, why it is preferred over other form of securities? Because of its value. The you can say future value of a particular land is expected to increase with time. What are the disadvantages? See, disadvantages are huge, and that is the reason why whenever a loan is having patch of land as its collateral, we try to evaluate each and every aspect, be it the value of the land, be it the owner details, be it the details mentioned in the tehsil office or the revenue authority as we know it, or for that matter the disputes involved or not. These are the ground realities which I am telling you. But when we talk about the bookish language, the disadvantages, valuation is at times difficult. Fine, it is difficult to ascertain the exact value. Ascertaining the title of the owner, again, the patch of land actually belongs to him or her or not. Encumbrance attached, whether a particular loan has already been taken from that particular patch of land or not, then in those cases we have the encumbrance certificates as mandatory. It is difficult to realize the security, that whether this particular patch of land will be able to cover up for the risk involved in the loan. Creating a charge is costly. It involves two or three parties. First party will be the advocate, then we have the valuation report, so valuer is also involved, plus the revenue authorities as well. Difficulty on account of rent control act. So when we talk about a particular owner whose property we are taking as a collateral, they have this law backing them, which is known as the rent control act, and the rent should be a particular, you can say, benchmark for the value of a particular patch of land. And this again is not a value of the uh, rent which is offered against the land. So disadvantages are huge as compared to advantages, but again, it is the most common one which is used by the bankers. Now, when we talk about the documents which are required to be called for from the mortgager, who is the mortgager? From the particular contract, that is the loan, if you are providing a mortgage, fine, so you will be the bank or the creditor, and the debtor will be the person or the business entity who is having the facility of loan thanks to the credit provided by you. So documents of title, the first document, all the material documents of title like the sale deed, gift deed, will, partition deed, conveying the title to the borrower that yes, this borrower is the actual owner of the land. Parent documents, there might be certain documents, or you can say previous documents related to this title. These are taken for the prescribed period to ascertain the flow of title. Usually banks call for parent documents for 30 years. Fine. So revenue authorities mostly they have the record, the land record with them. And when we talk about the time duration, it will be 30 years here. Next is encumbrance certificate. As we were looking here, the encumbrance certificate for the encumbrance attachment, this is taken normally for 13 years to see if any encumbrance subsists on the property or not. So 13 years is the time limit. See, IIBF will ask you questions based on the tenure. Like for the parent documents, the banks will call the parent documents for 30 years. When you talk about the encumbrance certificate, it is for the 13 years. Then we have property tax receipts. The tax receipts for property are usually an evidence that the possession of the property is of the proposed mortgager only. Fine. Who is mortgaging his or her land? Okay. So again, it is the debtor. Next, the court permission. If the property offered is standing in the name of a minor, permission of the competent court to encumber the property must be taken. Whenever minor is involved, banks hesitate to provide loan against such collateral, but yes, special permissions must be taken if such type of land is considered for collateral. Search report if immovable property belongs to a company registered under Companies Act. Always remember, if there is a company registered under the Companies Act 2013, a certificate of registration of charge, which is issued by ROC, that is Registrar of Company, is required in order to ascertain any charge substituting on the subsisting on the property. So again, search report ensures that there are no additional charges on that particular property which you are giving, which you are having as the collateral by the mortgager. Then we have the lawyer's report, obviously the TIR, as we normally call it, the title investigation report. Normally, the banks take an opinion from their paneled advocate regarding the clear, good, and marketable title of the proposed mortgager over the property. So TIR also has some cost. The advocate will levy certain cost here, and that is the reason why we say that creating a charge is a costly phenomena. Now, when I talk about the valuation of property, how it is done? It is done by utilizing the services of recognized valuers who would be either engineers or mostly they are the architects only. Making inquiries with local real estate agents, that is also one of the method via which you can estimate the property's value. But nowadays, this inquiry does not have that particular say as compared to the valuation report, because we need concrete evidence that yes, valuation of the property is true, or you can say it is the actual or exact value, and based on this value only you will be providing the loan, so you cannot take risk here. By using the valuation published by the local authorities, this is the most authentic one. Fine, this is the most authentic one when we talk about all the services. Using latest sale transaction of the neighboring properties in order to provide yourself with an estimate. It will be helpful to have an estimate if you know what was the price of the neighboring properties. Calculations based on the annual rental value. But again, in this annual rental value, your Rent Control Act will be one of the controlling, you can say, enactment, and you won't be able to, gauge the actual number, actual amount of the property's value. Fine. Now, next we talk about the nature of ownership. You must ascertain that whether the property is freehold or leasehold. Freehold means you own the property, the land it's on, as well as the space above the property. It is not that just the land belongs to you, above that the building is somebody's else. And when we talk about the revenue authorities, they do not know about it, nothing like that. Freehold means land, the construction above it, and the space, everything belongs to you. Leasehold, you own the property, but not the land or the building. One thing or the other, somewhere you will be missing the ownership. So freehold land owner is the absolute title holder of the land and is able to deal with it as he likes, whatever he likes, because this freehold land gives him or her the free will. Okay, free will to do whatever he or she wants to do. Leasehold is the one which is taken on the lease for a specific time period. You do not own the land per se, but the building is on lease. Like that you can remember. So freehold tenure is forever, leasehold the tenure is 99 years normally. What are the other aspects which are involved when we talk about the immovable properties? If any advance is granted against the primary security of immovable property, the purpose for which such advances is sanctioned is to be made very, very clear. So the purpose is very important. You should not this particular aspect for granted, because if you do not know exactly what is the purpose, then there is again an inherent risk involved in lending. The mortgage deed must be drafted carefully considering all the legal stipulations. So legal stipulations pertains to what? Your fine, start with title, and you must know whether there are any disputes involved or not for this particular property. It must be witnessed by at least two persons. So two persons must be the witness. Simple mortgage attracts ad valorem stamp duty, whatever is applicable. Fine. This is just another form of saying that the applicable stamp duty, which is finalized by the district authorities. To avoid loss of security by fire or natural calamity, it is prudent to insure the buildings, if any, in the property for its full value at the borrower's expense. So insurance for the buildings will be done by the borrower, not you. Okay, that is why you might have seen that in home loan, or for that matter plant and machinery loans, in the branches, once the audit arrives, we tend to deduct these charges, because insurance will be provided. It must be provided in some cases, and the expenses will be borne out by the customer. Okay, so this was it for today's lecture. When we talk about the remaining portion, see this unit number 25, it has good amount of knowledge. Fine, it stores a good amount of knowledge, a good amount of concepts within it. And when we talk about the entire PPB subject, which has more than 50 units plus the other subjects, what about them? Fine. So as you know that from 1st of August, just one day remaining, you will be having the registrations open for the JAIIB. Fine, registrations will commence. And once the registration start, you won't be in a position to decide what to do, what not to do. So take this time, that is today and tomorrow as well, so that you can make an informed choice which kind of particular study plans to suits you, what kind of course material you want, what about the study material, the exact study material which will suit your preparation. And when you talk about officers at 247, we have the most common doubts addressed via various sessions on our YouTube channel. So you can just visit all those sessions and make an informed decision, because see, everybody's needs, they are different. You cannot just say that one size fits all strategy I will be applying and it will benefit me as well. No, it won't be there. First, see what are your strengths and weaknesses, which chapters you want to know, which subjects are there feel that are on a weaker side, and try to address them, try to strengthen them as soon as possible. So if you are interested in the paid classes, we have JIIB Increment Mahapack, which will include the JIIB Mahapack as well as the increment box. As you can see here, the increment box will be having all the necessary study material, including the 4 books for practice. So for IIFS, for PPB, for your AFM, as well as your RBWM subject, you will get 1 book each for practice. So the questions which are there mentioned in these books, they are of top quality. And how we are able to maintain the quality? Thanks to the analysis, the in-depth analysis of the PYQs. Along with that, you will be having the formula sheet with you, plus the study planner will be attached with this particular box, Adda 247 merchandise, as well as the affirmation cards. So when we talk about the Mahapack 2.0, you will be having a double validity for a limited time period. So if you want that, you pay for 6 months and you have a complimentary 6 additional months access, then enroll as soon as possible, because the offers are for limited time only. When we talk about the offerings in the JIIB Mahapack 2.0, you will have the live classes, you will have the recorded videos of these live classes. You will be having the access to full length mock test, you will have the ebooks plus the PDFs which we are providing on regular basis, on daily basis, whatever the classes are happening. Plus, not only the regular batches, but you will have the access to the crash course also. You need not to pay anything else. Just enroll in the JAB Increment Mahapack and you will get the regular batches, crash course batches, plus the Power Pack revision batch as well, along with the full length mock test, PDF, recorded videos, everything. So that is why we are saying that this particular course, this particular study material will act as a one-stop solution for all your needs. Fine. So this was it for today's class. If you have any kind of doubt, feel free to ask me. We will address all your doubts as soon as possible. And in the next video, we will be continuing the PPP unit number 26.